I'd like to welcome all of you on YouTube. It's just a pleasure to have all of you with us today. We're just happy to be here to refresh each other, to be a place of renewal. And especially nice to welcome all of you here this morning as well. One of the great joys of moving into the awareness energy is the discovery that we often make about ourselves, such as we no longer simply see ourselves as a limited human being, and we're beginning to see ourselves truly as that spiritual being that is having this human experience. It's quite a reversal to really see yourself that way, not just a limited human, but to truly see yourself as that spiritual being, that eternal soul that is here on the planet in the human situation. And truly, did you ever think that you would have a daily spiritual practice? A daily spiritual practice that you really look forward to, rather than something you should simply do, rather than just saying a rote prayer here or there. It's quite a beautiful thing to see that, well, we have changed. In fact, I think we can say we have changed a lot. But although we have changed a lot, I think probably most of us here would probably not say that we have become leaders in the spiritual awareness. We probably would not say that we are really leaders in the spiritual awareness. Now, I'm not suggesting that you have to be like a Barbara Marx Hubbard or an Eckhart Tolle, but most of us probably still would not say that we are spiritual leaders, and maybe not even in smaller ways. Well, I don't know if that's true, and I don't know if maybe you're selling yourself short. So what I'd like to suggest today is to explore the topic, you as a leader, in this month's teaching. You as a leader in our monthly teaching. Let's begin. Vince, let me tell you again, I am not a leader. I am not a leader. Yes, I do things differently now, but I am not a leader. You might be a leader, someone else might be a leader, but I am not. Well, let's see. Let's just see if that's true. What I would like to ask you to do is kind of hold off your judgment of being a leader until I have finished. So let's begin again. By a leader, what I primarily mean is that you are leading by example. That you are leading by example. You might say to yourself, by example of what? What I'm going to suggest to you, there are three things by which I think we are becoming leaders. The first one I would suggest to you probably is the most important. You are leading by example to yourself. You are leading by example to yourself. What I primarily mean by this is that you are no longer fooled by what isn't true. You're no longer fooled by what isn't true. You are no longer fooled by the dramas of life. And you know that most of the dramas of life are simply much ado about nothing. You're just no longer fooled by those dramas. It doesn't mean that you're unkind. It doesn't mean that you're unsympathetic. It simply means that you know what is drama and you know what is of the spirit. If people decide to play in the drama, that's up to them, but you clearly know what is of the ego and what is truly, in a sense, of spirit. You have stopped playing a lot of the third-dimensional games. Or, if you're going to play in the third-dimensional game, at least you're aware of what's going on in that third-dimensional game. And, probably more than anything else, you have forgiven yourself from your own dramas of life. You've forgiven yourself of the old dramas in life. Secondly, I would suggest to you is that you are no longer, in a sense, ruled by fear and limitation. That's a huge thing. You're no longer ruled by fear and limitation. You're no longer waiting for the other shoe to drop. You're no longer waiting for something bad to happen. But little by little and more, you are realizing that you are good and your life is good. That life is good as long as you maintain your spiritual centeredness and as long as you maintain that sense of being centered. You are clearly beginning to see that the power within you will not only assist you to meet every challenge in life, but more than anything else, that the power within you is a power. The power within you is the power. It is a power of creativity. It's a power of goodness. It's a power of kindness, of love, and of strength. There isn't any need for you to worry about the past anymore. You are going forward in strength and power into the future. It's such a wonderful thing to know that you are moving forward from the presence within, not the worries of the past. And you're able to move forward with a sense of gratitude, with happiness, because you know that the power within you not only will solve the problems, but it is opening for you the beauty of life. Just such a wonderful, wonderful power from within. The third thing I would just suggest that you have, in a sense, led by example, is that you have not only changed, but you've evolved. You have evolved. You are no longer who you thought you were. You're no longer just a better vision or a better version of the old you. You really are a new you. You have moved beyond your old self, and you are moving into greater glory. You have led yourself forward. You have led yourself forward. Okay, Vince, I get what you mean by leading myself forward, but that still does not make me ready to lead others. I have not finished yet. What I also want to suggest to you is that there are a couple of other points that become extremely important, and here's the second one. Your second point of leading by example, I would suggest, is that you have begun to function in unity with other souls just like you. You've been able to function together in unity with other souls just like you. It's not that you have, it's pretty much in a sense, not just that you've embraced this concept of oneness, but now more than anything else, you're beginning to see yourself as one in relationship to others who also are experiencing oneness. It's like you've begun to expand your sense of family. Truly, you've begun to expand your sense of family. Rather than thinking primarily simply of your biological family, you've begun to broaden your sense of family to include other wonderful souls, as we have here this morning. We've broadened this sense of who we really are. It's no longer just about you and yours, but rather it's much more about all of us sincerely uniting with other wonderful souls. I believe we have truly broadened our sense of family and oneness. You have come to know that there are other wonderful souls just like you. They're wonderful souls just like you. And in the wonder of these souls being just like ourselves, we've come to enjoy their company. We like coming together with each other. We like coming together in our study groups. we have spiritual friends. We have spiritual friends in addition to our families and personal friends. And there's something that's just very, very, very beautiful about this, that as we continue to grow in our friends in spirit, it's much more than simply personal growth. But now I believe that we have a feeling of togetherness. It's not just each one of us by ourselves, but it's each one of us in union with others. And I believe that we are in the process of evolving the planet. It's not just about me anymore. It's not just about my family and my friends, but rather there is a spiritual friendship. There is that friendship in spirit. And I would suggest to you that this, for most of us now, this spiritual friendship is probably something we never had before. To be spiritual friends. Okay, Vince, you're right again. Yes, I do acknowledge my personal growth and I do acknowledge my spiritual friendship with others, but that still does not make me a leader. I have not finished yet. There is a third area where I think you are leading by example. This area was presented best by a gentleman who regularly mentioned that he often felt very uncomfortable in the presence of others, just like many of us have been at times. He could not wait to leave an event and would dread having to sit down at a table with people he really didn't know, whether it was a party or a wedding. And then slowly, something began to change, first within him and then within others. Little by little, he began to feel more comfortable within himself. That was a pretty big change, to be comfortable within himself. Because when he focused on that presence within him, he seemed to become not only more comfortable with himself, but then all of a sudden he began to see that he was comfortable with others. He especially was comfortable with other people who were of spirit, knowing that the child of God that is in him is also the child of God, clearly recognized in everyone else, especially those of us who are friends in spirit. And then he took that bigger step. He just realized that that which is within me and that which is within my friends is within everyone. He just began to realize that that which is within me and in my spiritual friends included everyone else. That what was within myself and others is inclusively within everyone else. He began to see himself as a child of God in association with others who were very important to him, but in whose light he could see that everyone was the very same. Inclusion, comfortability began to be his way. Now, what I'm suggesting to you is that probably each one of us has shown up maybe in the way that Barbara Marx Hubbard has taught us to show up. She said that when you show up in your awareness, you are doing the absolute best thing you can do for anyone else. And I think for most of us, that's really what has occurred. We are showing up in our awareness, supported by our spiritual friends, so that we can be aware of our inclusivity with others. That is a huge, huge movement. If someone else desires to be excluded, that's up to them. But we have that inclusive awareness that enables all of us to see ourselves as child of God, regardless of how others might see themselves. So in conclusion, Okay, Vince, you might be right. I do have the presence within me. I do appreciate my spiritual friends, and I do embrace everyone inclusively. I rest my case. You are a leader by example. You are. You are a leader by example. Truly. Let us now bring that into meditation. To prepare for the meditation, I think we have, Patty, one of your favorite songs, Let Go of the Shore. I believe it's on page number 7 in your book, Let Go of the Shore. We are very happy to let go of the shore and to flow into the beauty of the mystery. Fully now dedicate yourself to this meditation. Just a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to know the self as light and leader. Fully dedicate yourself as we proceed. Let us now begin our meditation by just taking a few simple breaths. Nothing labored, just a simple in, a simple out. Nice, easy rhythm. Please begin. And as you continue the breath, just ask that you simply relax yourself physically. Nothing you have to do, no activity. Release any of your thoughts. Don't worry about anything later on, but just be present right now, right here. And as you settle yourself physically and mentally, will you simply go into that place, that inner you? You know it more and more, ever so well. Just move yourself into the presence within, that inner part of you that you know to be your true self. Sometimes it's still hard to conceive of yourself as a leader. But it's a little easier when you understand that you are leading by example. For example, it's true. You've changed. You're not just a better old version of yourself. You've changed. You've changed. By choice. You are calmer. You are stronger. You are genuinely nice. Genuinely nice. Would you say to yourself, I really like what I have become. I really like myself. And I know that what I have become is just the beginning of a lot more. I'm happy just to be excited about myself. I'm happy. With whom I have become. This is me. This is what I've always wanted as me. To be genuinely kind and loving, and yet strong. I have left go of the shore. And I have embraced the beauty of life. I've done this. Let me be clear that I have done it with others. How much I have appreciated, how much I have appreciated the friendship in spirit. A oneness. A togetherness. Oftentimes beyond my biological family and even personal friends. There is just this knowing of being in the same energy. Rather than personalities always having to show up, we see souls and soul presence just like ours, uniting with each other. it's quite something to have genuine friends in spirit. Never a judgment, never a criticism. It's always, come on, you can do it. You can do it. Go ahead, create. And even if you should be temporarily discombobulated, those around you are not. And if necessary, will gently lead you home. As you would for them. It's wonderful to know that that which is clearly in me is clearly in my spiritual friends. And it is within everyone else. Whether they are aware of it or not. I see with the eyes of inclusion. I see with the eyes of inclusion. I am an eternal soul, not just a physical body. I get it. The dramas of others are not mine. The dramas of others, no matter how dramatic or how seemingly personal, they are not mine. Truly, I support them and I love them, but their drama is not mine. And I support them by choice, I choose unity and togetherness and oneness, even if others do not. I am not here to support the dramas of others. I am not here to support the dramas of others. But I do support their soul presence happily. I am here to go forth as a creator being. And I am creating from the light that is within me what I know to be true. I am the light of life. It is the presence within me and I am happy, just happy to lead by example with others. This is quite a union. I invite you to join now, singing "Peace is flowing like a river," and then "We are blessings to the world." I believe found on pages 20 and 16 in our booklets. Peace is flowing like a river, flowing out of you and me, flowing out into the desert, setting all the captives free. Love is flowing like a river, flowing out desert, setting all the captives free. Joy is flowing like a river, flowing out of you and me, flowing out into the desert, setting all the captives free. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and all you are, and all you do is a blessing to the world. You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and all you are, and all you do is a blessing to the world. We are the heart, we are the hands, we are the voice of spirit on earth, and all we are, and all we do is a blessing to the world.
And just when you're ready now, bring your attention back into the room, into your body personas, opening up their lovely eyes and allowing the beauty of you to shine through. Namaste.